Airtake World Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Star Wars Andor Season 1, Episode 8, and my thoughts on this episode. Sorry about the voice, cold still not gone, kind of getting better, stopped kind of throwing up, but yeah, gonna do what I've been doing for the last couple of days, just gonna try to get through this as quick as we can, because, well, it's hard. Hey, having colds. But let's talk about the episode. We've gone backwards with Andor, I kind of think. It's boring again. Nothing really interesting happened in this episode. We wasted some time with Mon Mothma for no reason. Again, Mon Mothma is a window into the Senate, and we've seen it in Senate once in this entire fucking series, which is ridiculous. I mean, the problem with Andor is it's a film they've turned into a show, which is pretty flipping stupid because that never works. There's not enough story to tell because it's a film that you're going to do for 2 hours, and yeah, there's no... I mean, the problem with Andor right now is there's no direction. It's just we're sticking with one scene way too long, we're sticking with another scene way too long, and we're also wasting big things. Like, we have Andy Serkis in this fucking show now, and what do they do with that? I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and what do you do with Andy Serkis? You make him a fucking prison fucking manager of a fucking shift. That's what you do with him? That is ridiculous and stupid. But yeah, Andor's... It's not the worst thing to come out of Lucasfilm. Definitely not. But it's definitely not the best thing. It's just... We seem to just be wasting time. That's the problem with Andor. We waste so much time on stuff we don't care about, and the stuff we do care about, like the Senate, like ISB, we're there for a short time before we're just wasting time with boring stuff. So, yeah, I don't think Andor's are going to be a massive success, unfortunately, because there's just no direction. There's just too much waste and not enough focus for me in this show. So I'm just going to give it a score out of 10. It'll be a 5. This wasn't a great episode, but again, it's not the worst. It's a 5 out of 10. It's respectable. I kind of like the prison stuff we found out. But again, there's just not enough there. Not enough there to keep me kind of engaged at a certain point. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So, as I did last time, I'm just going to go through it with bullet points. I can't really do a full breakdown. So, let's do the small things first. Khan and Deidre. We'll talk about them first. Apparently, Carl has been trying to find out information about Andor. Deidre finds out about it, questions him for a little bit, asks him for help with reading over reports, and then just sends him away. I don't know why we're having to wait for them to put him in ISB. It's so ridiculous. This character obviously needs to be in ISB because he's determined, because he would be a fucking threat to Andor. I don't get why we're still waiting for this. We're literally at near the end of this season, and Khan is still some fucking wasted potential character who's just done nothing this entire show. He did 2 things. I mean, he's been in so many episodes, and all I've seen him do so far is fucking have cereal and get an office job. I don't get it. What's the point of this character if all he's going to be is a side character? We all know he's going to fucking end up. Could we just get on with it? Why are we wasting so much fucking time? Anyway, that's all Khan's fucking involvement was in this episode. He gets talked to by ISB, and then he gets thrown out and just threatened. That's it. Deirdre has a meeting with the command staff of ISB. She says she's got a plan to kind of find Andor. Kind of brings up the Andor as a piece to a bigger puzzle they're trying to solve, and that they're trying to and they need to find this piece because they could then break the rebellion that's been formed. And Admiral Yularen, I think that's what his name is, doesn't really care about finding out there could be somebody who's trying to build a rebellion. He seems to think this is just some small thing. It's obvious that it's not, and he should be massively focused on this. I don't get why he's just so... Well, he's just like not that bothered about it. They've literally done a successful attack against the Empire, and you're still trying to wonder, should this guy be seen as a threat? It's ridiculous. This guy should be literally telling Deirdre to fucking find this person, give her all the resources that she'd need, and focus on this one piece, because it's a very important piece. And then at the end of the episode, we see Deirdre torture some guy, and then start to torture Bix, I think her name is, and that's how the episode ends with her. Let's go on to Levin, sorry. Levin in this episode pretty much just is trying to build a rebellion. He's trying to group all the rebellions together to form one rebellion because he knows that's a bigger threat to the Empire. He's also trying to cause more problems for the Empire. He wants to strike more targets. He wants the Empire to overreact because he knows if they overreact, that's a benefit to the rebellion, and so he could pretty much form a bigger resistance, a bigger rebellion against the Empire if they start, cracking down more, which I kind of do think is a pretty good idea. But we then see him meet up with Saul Guerrera. I honestly don't like what they've done to Saul Guerrera, make him this crazy, weird, terrorist guy, especially when you know him from the Clone Wars. Like, he wasn't that character. I don't know what happened to him, but I'd like that to be explained, please, because it just doesn't make sense for him to be so insane at this point. So, yeah, Levin's entire part, what he does this entire episode is tries to find rebels to join forces to fight the Empire. And Saul Guerrero just thinks it's a bad idea because he doesn't agree with all the people that he's trying to form with, which is just ridiculous. You have a massive empire to fight. A small band of rebels is not going to beat that empire unless they become a bigger rebellion. So Saul Guerrero is pretty stupid. Let's go on to Mon Mothma's part of this episode. Mon Mothma's part of this episode is basically, we have to see her with her husband. She has a party at her house, and she talks about being in the Senate and how she's trying to limit the Emperor's power with other senators. And I'm just like, so why can't we see you in the Senate doing this? Why am I literally watching you in your fucking house again? Why couldn't this scene be in the Senate where it should be? This is just ridiculous. I don't need to see her in a fucking house. I need to see her in the Senate talking. I need her to be a fucking senator. I mean, why are we wasting so much fucking time with a stupid fucking marriage, which is what they do again with her fucking husband? I just don't fucking care. God. So, that was Mon Mothma's part of the episode. Again, could keep her in the Senate, could show us interesting things. Nope. Just keep her in her house with her husband complaining about a fucking marriage. Jesus, what a waste of time that entire character is now. Okay, I guess we can talk about Phalanx if you want. What happens on Phalanx? Empire's there, they're being the Empire, they're being arseholes. Andor's friends are looking after his mother, who's insane. And, what's her name? Bix gets chased by the Empire. And you have this random scene where an Imperial just shouts, "Get her," when the Imperials are already chasing her. It's the weirdest scene. Again, the stormtroopers are already chasing her, and then some fat guy stops and just shouts, "Get her." It's a weird scene. But anyway, that's what happens on Phalanx. And Bex gets caught. Bex then gets shown a guy that's gotten tortured by ISB. And then Deadmore just pretty much plans to do the same to her. And that's all that happens on Phalanx, or whatever the fuck it's called. So let's get to the final part, which is Andor's part. So Andor gets taken to a shuttle that gets sent off to a prison planet. Turns out the prison planet is pretty much a factory where they force all the inmates to build equipment for the Empire. So basically slavery, but they give them certain luxuries if they work hard. And also the prison security system is basically you have Imperials wearing stupid shoes to stop them getting electrocuted by the floor. And that's about it. So the security system is that basic. Again, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, that seems like a good security." If it's just the floor, what if I just climbed on walls and stuff? Now, maybe they do explain that in the episode, but I would have liked to have seen a bit more in that explanation than just, "Don't touch the floor when it's red or you'll get electrocuted." Again, there's obviously a way to get past this because Andor's going to escape. So Andor goes to a prison, gets told he has to work to survive. This where we see Andy Serkis, who is a inmate there, and he's a manager of this group of prisoners who are building this equipment. He's trying to make sure they keep staying in the top leagues of the building teams because he wants to keep good with the Empire, and he's getting out soon, so he thinks if he keeps this going, maybe the Empire will offer him a job. So he doesn't want Andor to fuck this up. He gives Andor to a new team, and Andor just learns how to build equipment for the Empire for this entire episode. That's all he does in this entire episode. Goes to prison, learns what it's like living in a prison, and learns to build equipment for the Empire. This is boring. I don't give a fuck what they do in these prisons. I mean, for God's sake, I've already had fucking 4 episodes of explaining fucking Andor is down his fucking luck. Do I really need another episode of Andor being down on his fucking luck? It's fucking boring. And then that's pretty much what happens in the episode. It's a dull episode. I mean, it really does show they had no plan for Andor. It was literally planned to do a movie about him, wasn't going to work, turn it into a show, and basically fill it full of filler. Which is a massive problem, because having most of your season be filler episodes makes your season boring. Again, it's not the worst thing to come out of Lucasfilm from the past 5 years, but it's definitely not the best. And that's the end of my review. Andor, that was boring. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think about subscribing. And take World Soldier. Bye.